I'm Jax.
And I'm Michael.
And we met on Christian Connection. For me, I just really wanted to connect with my future partner or husband on a platform where we had similarities in our faith. I think we could connect on a faith basis.
My faith is really important to me, and I knew that to be happily married I'd need to find somebody who I could share my faith with whom I could have a laugh, but more importantly with whom I could connect on a spiritual level, and Christian Connection seemed the best place to look.
I liked the site, I liked the colours, I liked how gripping it was to look through profiles and things. I've been on the site for a long time, and I was going through a period of not being particularly active when Michael contacted me.
I liked how much information the site gave. It wasn't like some other websites which expected you to decide just on pictures and a couple of sentences. There was a real presence of each person on there. You really got to know a bit about each person beforehand, and certainly in my case, had I not written some of the things I'd written, I don't think Jax would have clicked respond.
I liked how the profile gave the opportunity to really express the level of faith that I have. So I liked being able to put in my favourite scriptures. I liked putting in there who were great role models in my life on a faith basis, and it was good to be able to express that, because I don't think any other dating platform gives that opportunity.
Yeah, likewise. I actually found it really quite difficult at times, because the questions were so helpful that it really made me think. So it was asking me questions about my favourite scripture, and it was something that we connected over, because I think two of our scriptures were very similar.
I noticed that he had a very kind and charming face, which just captured me when I saw his profile picture. And I thought, oh, well, who's this? I noticed when I scrolled through his profile and did a quick skim read that he owns a 1957 Morris Minor, and I have a similar interest in classic cars and things, so as soon as I knew he had a classic car, I thought I need to reply to this man.
So I waved at Jax and sent her a sort of hello message. It probably wasn't particularly inspiring, probably something like, "Hi, how are you?" Thankfully she replied. It
was when I read about the classic car thing and I was like, hello, I'm going to respond.
Not that we're shallow at all.
No, not at all. But I think it's important when you meet somebody online that there is a mutual connection there, and we clearly found it in our two profiles, didn't we?
Because we then discovered we have so many other things in common. So it transpires that we went to the same secondary school, albeit about 5 or 6 years apart, so we never met each other there. Jackie leads a guide unit, or led a guide unit, and at the time I was an officer in a boys brigade company in Colchester, so we had an interest in youth work, which again I think we referenced in our profiles a little. So there were quite a few things that drew us together, as we spent the first,
three or four dates on Skype.
Yeah, so over the course of about 3 weeks, we probably spent a good 20 hours talking to each other on Skype. So by the time we first met each other, we actually knew each other fairly well.
I think I felt that our first date was one of our online, maybe even our first online chat, because we chatted for hours. I think we started the call at 7:30 and we were still chatting until 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
To the point I was like, what happened there? And I was so elated by, the connection that we'd found, that I was calling my mum at 1 o'clock in the morning saying, I've met somebody online. Oh, there was a really hilarious, awkward moment, I think, on our first date, because we'd worked out that we both went to the same school, and Michael's training for ministry, but if he has been an elder in the church he was in before we moved up to Glasgow, and he announced on our call that he'd married a lady that we both knew from school, at one of the teacher's daughters, and I was thinking to myself, why are you messaging me, and why are we dating, and why are we talking on the back of Christian Connection when you've already married somebody?
And you didn't mention this in your profile, and you didn't do this.
No. And it took me ages to work out that it's because he'd done the marriage, it wasn't because he was actually married. So that was quite awkward. I think I had an inkling on our video calls, but I started to know when we had a face-to-face date that this was likely to be the start of something serious. And it was so surprising because it was right in the middle of lockdown, and that was the last timing I was expecting to meet my now husband. So yeah, that was cool.
I often tell Jax that I fell in love with her the first time we had a video call.
Oh yeah, you said you knew that you'd marry me the first time we saw each other. Yeah.
I didn't say that at the time.
I'm glad you didn't, because that might have scared me away.
I proposed to Jax in the middle of a Zoom service in her church that she was a member of. It was on Easter Day 2021. We were both sitting around a table tuning into her church's Easter Zoom service, and I'd pre-arranged with her pastor that at the end I wanted to say a few words, and I told them what I was going to do. I
had no idea what was going on until halfway through the scripture, and I was like, uh-oh, I think I know what's coming next. But it was brilliant, because of course I said yes, and then everyone cheered, all the church family and everybody, all your friends. It was like this almighty cheer. I really like VW camper vans, so we had a camper van theme going on. I came to the church in a camper van. We had camper van bunting. We had various decorative camper van themed things.
One of my favourite animals are flamingos, and so the church was festooned not just with VW campers but also with flamingos, be they painted flamingos on the walls or little models of flamingos everywhere, flamingo napkins, flamingo bunting,
glasses. And once we had actually taken our vows, and the minister who married us said, "Well, Mr. and Mrs." And when he said that, the whole church cheered, and it was just wonderful, wasn't it? So in Michael's calling to ministry, we were required to move from down south in Essex up to Glasgow, Scotland. So we got married in the August, and then in January we moved up to Scotland. It's just that we have fun. We're really silly together.
Well, you are.
And thank you for that. And I think sometimes when life brings challenges, laughter and being silly is a really good way to pull you through them. And we're certainly able to do that, aren't we? We just do really quirky things together.
Yeah, we have fun together, but what's so nice is that in between having fun with each other, we can sit down and have some really deep sort of spiritual conversations. Yeah. We're able to pray together or read books together. So at dinner time we have our daily Bible reading and then read a chapter of a book together. And those are really special moments, which I don't think I've ever experienced with anybody else, that my soulmate and I are able to sit down and do these really quite intensely special things together.
The advice I'd give is to trust God, and here we are now. And I'm in my 30s, and I've been looking for a husband since I was, early 20s or late teens. So it's taken a long time, but it was worth the wait. So don't lose heart. If you've talked to people and it's not working out, don't give up. Stay on the platform, wait on God, and He will deliver.
But also, one thing that was really important for me was honesty from the beginning. So, there were various things that I felt Jax needed to know about me before we could truly say we'd been honest with one another. I knew that I had to be honest, but it's really paid off, because now we do live in this really honest relationship where we can tell each other things. We can be true to ourselves.